Mondays. So we kickstarted Entrepreneur Mondays last week, and listen, we had a good old time. This week, we have a special guest. Tonight, we are being joined by Kat Perkins. She is an author. She is a what are all of the great things that comes with who Kat Perkins is. Let me try and get to her bio, y'all, because I don't want to do disjustice to this amazing woman. First of all, Kat, thank you so much for joining me and being a part of Entrepreneur Mondays. Okay, let's get on into her bio. So, Miss Kat Perkins is a transformational speaker, life strategist, poet, artist, and ordained spiritual leader whose mission is to inspire and empower individuals embrace their true potential. As the author of Girls with Pearls Have Power, she is cultivating hope, fueling perseverance, celebrating resilience. She shares her insight and experiences to encourage others to their own journey to personal growth and fulfillment. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. Her bio is extensive, y'all, but I'm going to go in a little bit more. She resides in Southeast Atlanta in the beautiful city of Covington, Georgia. Kat is a devotional wife, mother of five, a proud grandmother of three beautiful grandchildren. She holds a theology degree. Lord, girl, Miss Kat, I don't know what it is that you're not doing, but listen, I just want to say, not to not do justice to your bio, I want to say thank you for agreeing to be a part of Entrepreneur Mondays. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now, I didn't do the best justice to your bio. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the dear future husband and wife platform and to those tapping in and tuning in. Introduce yourself to the audience.
Well, thank you, Miss Johnson, for asking me and allowing me to grace your stage with your friends and family all over the world that's listening to you. I thank you so much. I'm just honored to be able to have an opportunity to be here with you. So thank you for that. Number one, and you did pretty good. I was listening to all those things. I'm like, I did that. I do that. Is that me? Is she talking about me? So yeah, that's enough. And I'm like, cut it out, cut it out, cut it out. That's enough. But hey, but thank you so much for that. So you did quite well. And I know some of those things were tongue twisters, and I didn't write
Right?
that, but thank you anyway for trying to get it all out. But
Right.
yeah, so all those things she says are yes and yes and yes again. So the author, the poet, the speaker, the life transformational speaker, that's who I am. That's what I've been for the majority of my life. I've been ordained in ministry since 2006, and I'm just going to run on until just to see what the end is going to be. So I am okay. So my background has been real estate and finance for almost 35 years. But I am on reassignment now.
Okay.
So my reassignment is taking my message out to the masses of the people. God has given me a word to take, and that's what I'm doing. It's just amazing. People, I just had a phone call this evening, and a lady called me. She was an older lady, and she was just insisting that I help her, because she wants to do something with her mortgage. She said she just needed some money, and I'm like, oh my God, but I don't do that anymore. But let me see what I can do to help somebody, help her,
Right.
help her. Somebody else going to have to help her, but I'm going to help her in that direction. But again,
Absolutely.
I am on reassignment, so just so everybody will know. Kat Perkins, aka Diane Jennings, the entrepreneur, the owner of Global Mortgage Strategies, is on reassignment. I cannot help you anymore with that. So,
Oh my gosh.
okay.
So I thank you again, Ms. Perkins, for being a part of Entrepreneur Mondays. Now let's start here. Girls with Pearls Have Power is such a powerful title. What inspired the title and what does it mean to you personally?
Girls with Pearls Have Power is
And
not
I see you
just
got
a
your pearls on. I see you got your
Yeah,
pearls on.
I've got my pearls on. Yeah, I'm gonna always have my pearl. Got the pearl ring, the pearl earrings, the pearl necklace. The pearl is the strength of a woman. Was created from the mollusca, the dust from the bottom of the ocean, and the pearl is enclosed in the shell, and the shell is covering that pearl and is trying to keep the dirt out, the drama. the all of the stuff that we go through in life. Is,
Oh
we
gosh.
women are the pearls. So
Yes.
when I say the pearl is built and created from the mollusk of the dust, I mean that. And it's what they call nacre. Nacre forms inside the shell to cover the pearl, layers upon layers upon layers. So what that means to me is, no matter what we go through, the hurt, the harm, the danger, the drama, the abuse, all of
Hmm.
those things, as women, that we have to face, child abuse, all of those things. I was placed in the foster care when I was a young girl. I've had experiences with molestation as a girl. I've had
Wow.
experience as being beat and abused as a little girl. All of those things. The mollusk from the dust. That pearl with the layer upon layer, the nacre upon nacre was covering this pearl. I am a resilient pearl. We women have had to face so many things in our lives, and don't get me wrong. So we're built for strength, because we're built strong and made to last. Because a man can't carry no baby, because that's some of the hardest pain that a woman
That's the
or that
truth.
anybody could ever face on the earth. So, but a man can't handle that. But we were built and created for pain, and so we handle things in a different way. But it
Yeah.
still doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, that is not traumatic, and it doesn't attempt to break you. But
Yeah.
we are resilient pearls, and I'm a resilient pearl. And so that's what that means, that I am strong. I can handle it. I don't always want to handle it, but if I
That's
have to
true.
handle it, Lord, so be. What is it? Lord, here I am, send me. That's what I did. Lord, here I am, send me. And I mean, he brings the fire, but he knows that if he brings the fire, that I can withstand the flame.
That's
So
good
that's
right
what
there.
that means. Yes, that's exactly what that means. I am a resilient pearl. You said what inspired me to write the book? Well, I started off writing this book about 3 years ago, maybe a little about 3 or 4 years ago. And it really wasn't a book. I was just writing affirmations. I love pearls. And I was just writing things. My husband and I went on vacation to Rhode Island, and we was at our Airbnb. Well, it was a bed and breakfast that we have with my daughter, and we were there on the ocean, and the water was just so pretty, and the sun was rising early in the morning. And I saw it, and I love the moon, I love the sun, and I'm looking at this beautiful sunset, the beautiful sunrise, and I just started writing and writing and writing, and I just
Mm,
started writing about girls with pearls have power, and it was just affirmations, and then I just kind of tossed it and put it on the shelf, let it go. And then
right.
last year, when the election started, everybody was on this kick about the pearls and the chucks and the chucks and the pearls. And it woke me up at 5 o'clock in the morning in my sleep and said, now is the time for your book to come out.
Ooh.
Finish the book. And I'm like, whoa. And so I started working on it again, but still it was just affirmations. And my trainer, his name is Sam, he was working with me, and I'm like, Sam, I need somebody to help me edit this book that I'm think that I'm writing, right? And he gave me the perfect person. She's a English professor at Emory University, and he
Yeah.
connected us. And she looked at it to do. I'm just asking her to do some editing. I'm looking for grammatical errors and all that. And so she looked at it, and she was like, "Wow, this is really good. This is a mantra for women and girls all over the world. Especially young Black girls." And I'm like, "What?" And I'm like, "Wow, if she said it's kind of good, maybe I'm really doing something." But then she handed it back to me. She said, "Now work on this, work on this, and work on that." You know how you go to school and the teacher mark out your homework. You think
Yes.
you're doing something all great, and she done scratched it all up and telling me to do this and do that. And I did. And I'm like, wow. So I had to go back, and I brought it back to her. She sat down. She sent me in the house. She stayed outside on my porch, and she worked on it. And then she came back. She says, you don't have one book, you have two. And I'm like,
Ooh.
what? And so after I've looked at it, I'm like, she said, you go back and you look at it, then you tell me. And after we looked at it again and she left, I looked at it again, I realized that she was absolutely right. I had a book of affirmations in one hand, and then I had a book
Girls with
about
pearls.
me on another hand. So Girls
Yeah.
with Pearls it is my memoir told in a narrative form coupled
Yes.
with poetry. So I write poetry. So that's what that's all about. My memoir told in a narrative form coupled with poetry. Now the affirmation books, it's not on the shelf. It's just sitting there, it's just waiting for the next phase
For
two
the
to come
next
out.
phase. So
Right.
someone
So
commented, not to cut you, Kat, but someone commented, just chiming in, what's the name of the book? Would love to get a copy. So how can she get a copy?
okay, the title of the book is Girls with Pearls Have Power: Cultivating Hope, Fueling Perseverance, and Celebrating Resilience. That is the complete title of this book. The name of the movement, and again, this is not just a book, this is a movement, is Girls with Pearls. So just keep that in mind. So,
All right.
how do you get a
Now
copy
you're
of
getting
the
ahead of it, Kat. Kat, you're getting ahead of it. Now I just wanted her to know where she can get the
I'm
book.
going to tell her because the book comes out in July. But if she
Okay.
goes to my website, well, actually, she can send an email info@iamkatperkins.com. Info at iamkatperkins.com, and that will take you to the link when they'll tell you to get on the waiting list for the book because it actually comes out in July.
Okay. All right. So I don't have the ability to comment in the comment section to type it. When I do the replays, I will make sure that the information is listed. So you wrote this book, and this book isn't here to fix you book. It's here to remind you that you're never broken, that there's such a free and truth with why it was important for you. Why was it important to lead the to for you to lead this message? Because it's not, hey, I can fix you. It's, hey, I believe that what I overcame and what I went through can be of inspiration and be of help to the next woman. Not that we are forgetting about our men, because we know our men need some help
That's right.
too,
That's right.
but for our women, um what, why was it important to lead with such a message?
Well,
Because
because
we
number
all have a story that we believe can be of inspiration, but in this moment and in this season, why was it important to have this message be shared in this moment, in this time? Because you could
well,
have did it 3 years ago.
I could have done it 3 years ago, but I didn't do it 3 years ago, and that's because I was going through a trial 2 years ago, basically. I just went through a bout with breast cancer,
Yeah.
and I went through 12 rounds of chemotherapy and 20 rounds of radiation, and it
Wow.
set me down. But even in the midst of being set down with dealing with the breast cancer, it allowed me to think about the things that I've had to endure in my life. And as I was going through the breast cancer and I was able to overcome the challenges of breast cancer, it let me know that without a shadow of a doubt that I am a resilient pearl. I am built from the mollusk of the dust at the bottom of the sea. And so no matter what trials and tribulations have come my way, God has given me he extended a life raft to me, and he's allowed me to come out of it. I've watched as I went through this, I watched other ladies, women in the next pod or in the next room, sick and weak and feeble, and some of them didn't make it, but God allowed me to make it. And I ask myself this question all the time, why? And that's
Right.
because there's a message in it for not me, but for somebody else to get them through it. So that's one of the main things right there. God has a message. It's not my message, it's his message, and he wants
It's his message.
it's his message, right? So we are resilient, and that's exactly what that means.
Now, I got to say this, and thank you all for checking in. Thank you all for being a part of Entrepreneur Mondays. We are talking with Kat Perkins, and we are discussing her latest book. Um, Now, we're going to give you all details on how you can get on the wait list to check out this book, because I do believe that it's going to be inspirational, motivational, and encouraging to all of us who can really benefit from some encouragement. Now, what does it mean to become her, the woman you were always meant to be?
Sometimes in life, as you grow up, people can say some negative things to you,
Ooh,
and
child,
sometimes those negative words can get in your mind, and you
they
will
do.
begin to believe the things that you hear.
Yeah,
And I'm trying to tell women and men
yeah,
that you're not what the world says that you are. So
absolutely.
as a child, again, I was telling you that, and if you read the book, you will find that I was, abused as a child, and not just physically but verbally. You're nothing. You'll never be nothing. You're black. You're ugly. You're this. You're that. And sometimes those words would play in my head, and like, well, is this what's going on? Is this the truth? But no, it is not the truth.
We're losing you just a
Me,
little bit.
but I am not breaking. But I'm not broken. And so we allow the stinking thinking to get into our head sometimes, and we become what we hear. But I'm trying to let you know that you are not what the world says that you are. You were never broken in the beginning. And you can you can rise above the things that has happened to you. That does not have to be their end for you. I mean, you can just keep it
Absolutely.
moving. But it's the way that you think about things. It's the way that you bring things into your mind and expel them out of your mind so you can, just do something different. You don't have to do what they say. You're not broken. You're not a drug addict. You're not a this. You're not a that. You're not black. You're not ugly. You're not stupid. You're not dumb. None of those things. We're resilient. So I had to talk to myself all the time to let myself know, D, you can do this. D, no, what she's saying is not the truth. No, no, that's not me. That's not me. That's not me.
That's right.
So we're not broken. I'm not broken. I used to think that I was broken, but
That's
now that
right.
I know that I am not broken.
That's so awesome. Now, how does one start that journey? Because now, being the founder of Dear Future Husband and Wife, I encounter a lot of different women, and not just women, men. But we have a series going on, the journey to I do, and a lot of us are on different journeys. How does one start? Because what I've learned about life is when you have heard a certain statement made time and time again, when you have been spoken down to for a long time, it's
Hmm.
hard to undo. It doesn't just go away like that. It's like this is what you're used to. It's created a norm.
Hmm.
Do you have any encouragement for someone who's been, beaten down by life, beaten down by family, beaten down
Hmm.
by
Hmm.
familiarity?
Hmm.
Where do you start?
You start with yourself, number one. The book says, the title of the book says, Cultivating Hope, Fueling Perseverance and Celebrating Resilience. Cultivating hope means going deep within yourself so
Yes,
that you got to love you first. Forget what somebody else is thinking about you. Forget how much they do or don't love you. You have to first start loving yourself. And once you start
absolutely.
loving yourself, you can talk to yourself. I talk to myself all the time. My
You
husband said
have
sometimes,
to.
yeah, my husband said, you talking to me or who you talking to? I'm talking to D. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to Cat. You have to talk to yourself.
Yeah.
Affirmations with yourself. I'm good. It's all good. I can do this. I don't care what they say, but I know that I can make it. This is not gonna beat me. This is not gonna break me. I don't care what she say. I am good. Let me explain something to you. As I was writing this, I did like a test with like 10 different women. I wanted to read to them, which I did. I read to them, and I read each of them separate sections of the book. And one particular lady that I read the book to, her section, after she listened to it, she says, "Oh my God, I don't believe." She said, "I can't believe you've endured all those things. I can't believe that this happened to you." She said, "You're always so put together. You always the way you dress, the way you talk. I just can't believe. I thought you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth."
Oh
And
wow.
I'm saying, "What?" I'm like, "Girl, silver spoon." I said, "No, I'm lucky if we even had some silverware." And I said, "What we had didn't match. The forks were bent, and did we have a spoon? And then what about, I don't even know about a knife." I said, "But my mom could cook really well." And so we just talking, and she says, "Oh my God, I never would have known it." And I said, "But
Wow.
I said, and that's what people do. They look at you, but they don't really see the real you. They don't know
That
you."
part.
And that's what I tell people. You really don't know this real Cat. You just know what
Hmm.
you think you know about Cat, but you don't know me, right? And so she's talking to me, and she's talking to me, and all of a sudden she just breaks down, and she's crying, and she's crying. She says, "Oh my God, oh my God." She says, my mother, my mom, I never understood why my mom I never felt like she loved me. I never felt like she was proud of me. And I always felt like she was always on me. And I think, she was always upset with my dad. And because I looked a lot like my dad, she was always
Mm.
just always on top of me. And I don't know what it was, but she was just always doing something to me, and I just never understood why it was me. And I explained to her, I said, "I'm not a therapist, but I'm gonna tell you this, it was not you. It wasn't you. It had
Right.
nothing to do with you. Your mother had her own issues that were not
That
your
part.
issues, that she was trying to make them become your issues, but they were
Hmm.
not your issues." But the bottom line was, when we finished that conversation, she says, "I'm not broken." I'm like, "You're not broken. You're right." She says, "I'm more than enough." And you're absolutely right. Because that's what I
Absolutely.
kept telling her. She says, "I am more than enough." I'm like, "You're right. Keep saying it to yourself. I am not broken. I am more than enough. I am not my mother. I am not my mother's punching bag. I love me. If my mother don't love me, that's my mother's." But this lady said, "That's her problem. That's her business. But my business is I love me. And if I love me,
That's right.
That's all that matters. I love me, God loves me, and He's going to make everything all right. So that's exactly where you start. You start with self. Self. I'm telling you, I say self all the time. Self, what you doing, girl? What is going on with you, self? D, what you doing? That D, this don't have to be like a D. You can do better than this. D, this is not gonna work like a D. This is good. D, girl, you look good today. Look at yourself in the mirror. Girl, your hair is banging. But if your hair is jacked up, D, girl, you need to go do something with yourself, right? So talk to yourself all
Yeah.
the time to let yourself know that you are more than enough. Talk to yourself so you can let yourself know that I love myself.
Yeah.
Talk to yourself more so once you realize that you love yourself, somebody else will figure it out and they will love you too. But if they don't, so well, that's their business. You just handle your business and
That's
don't worry
right.
about the rest.
That's right. Oh my God, that's good.
Mhm.
Limiting beliefs can be such a crippling part of the journey. I've met, listen, I've met so many people. I've had my own limiting beliefs that I've walked through life and I've experienced different things in life. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, if I allowed limiting beliefs, I probably wouldn't have started this YouTube channel because of
Wow.
the simple fact that I'm just like, well, as a perfectionist, one of the problems that we tend to have is wanting everything to be perfect and wanting
Hmm.
everything to be right before we get started. And
Yeah.
one of the things about walking with God is I say this all the time. He doesn't call the qualified, He
Hmm.
qualifies the call.
You're
So, in
absolutely
you
right.
showing up, I was thinking today, I was like, wow, I started last week. And sometimes it takes for one person to be in your life to just push you to get started
Hmm.
because at the end of the day, I was like, oh my God, I don't have a host. I don't have a co host for tonight. I don't have a speaker. And I started reaching out to everyone like, hey, God's blessed me with some amazing women. And Kat, you got back to me and said, yes, I'll do it. And I was like, this is perfect. But I say this to say the more you do something, the more you show up. And you spoke about, speaking to yourself. I'm big on just, speaking to yourself. Like, hey, girl, there's a song by Mary J. Blige that says, good morning, gorgeous. And it's not
Uh-huh.
because your
Uh-huh.
makeup's done. It's not, when I feel the most prettiest is when my makeup's not done and my skin's flawed and I'm looking at myself like, no, the makeup and the hair being did and the accessories and all of that stuff, that's just added bonus.
You're absolutely
Beauty's
right.
not just on the outside, beauty's on the
Hmm.
inside because you can look well done up. But when you meet people, the energy that you bring, the way that
That's
you
right.
talk to other
That's
people,
right.
the way that you make others feel. So beauty's on the inside. So you talking to yourself, you retraining your mind.
Hmm.
I did a series on Dear Future Husband and Wife, and I talked about undoing the hard drive,
Hmm.
cleaning the hard drive, because there are so many of us that's been taught a lot of limited beliefs. There's so many of us who've been raised in environments and circumstances and situations that if we could tell our stories, oh my
Yeah.
God,
Yeah. Yes.
it's not been a pleasant journey.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I think every
Yes.
woman really need to go and grab this book. But I want to talk about, you talk about transforming obstacles into stepping stones. Can you share parts of, your formula and your process? I know you mentioned that you spoke to yourself, but with this age and this wisdom, as much as you look amazing,
Oh, well, thank
for
you, girl.
those that are coming up and they're struggling. I met a young lady who's 19 and she's just like, I don't know how to figure it out. I said, what would I tell my 19-year-old self? Slow down. Don't try to figure it all out. Don't try to do everything. Take it one step at a time. So, what's a formula? What's a process? We have a lot of people on the journey to I do, aspire to be wives, aspire. I want to say there's some husbands on here. I don't know. But there are people that are on a journey. What's a formula or what's something that you can give to them that can be of help? I think the book's going to be an activity book as well. I'm just saying.
Hang
Yes.
on and go they were. Yeah, I'm with you, girl. Well, like I
Yes.
said, the first thing we say, we talk to yourself, and then you have to have the faith. It's faith is a big part of my life. Faith and belief, belief and trust, and that hope, fuel and perseverance. That hope fuels that perseverance, that gets that faith going, and keeps it going, and kicks it in, and believing that without a shadow of a doubt, you will be what you want to be. You can be what you want to be. You are not and do not have to be what somebody else says. So just not talking to yourself, but believe in what you're saying.
Yes.
Believe in what you can say it. You can talk about it. You can say things to yourself all day, but do you believe what you're saying
That's
about
true.
yourself?
That's true.
So you've got to believe what you're saying about yourself for the truth to manifest itself so you can
That's
be
right.
resilient. And that's what it's all about, is becoming a resilient pearl, resilient in your life, resilient in your marriage, resilient in your finances, resilient in your
Absolutely.
faith.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, you have to become resilient. And all of those things coupled together will set you on
Yes.
a totally different playing field from everybody else, from everything else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm in
Loving,
total
loving,
agreement.
loving you, all of those things, loving yourself. All of those
Absolutely.
things coupled together will put you on a totally different playing field. And then it's going to make you feel better about yourself.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree.
Yeah, it's going to make you feel better about
I
yourself. It's
absolutely
true.
agree. All right. So you mentioned that your best life isn't the rearview mirror. What would you say to a woman who feels stuck in the past or feels disqualified by it?
Your best life is not in your rear view mirror. It's
Yeah.
looking at, you know how sometimes I coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Right.
That's your rear view mirror.
Yes.
We're not going there with that. I
No.
say, women, it's time for women we're not going to tuck our tails and run. You know what we're going to do? We're going to pop our collars.
That's
We're not
right.
tucking your tail in the run. We're going to pop our collars
That's
because
right.
we're not looking back. We're looking forward to the future. Your future
Absolutely.
starts now. Look at yourself in the mirror and say that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. We ain't
Period.
preaching today, but I'm just telling you who you are.
You
So
better
look
come
at
on
yourself
now.
in the mirror and say, I am a resilient pearl. I can do this. You have to
Absolutely.
look at yourself in the mirror and says, I can make it. And it's going to be all right. You have to look at yourself in the mirror and says, I am more than enough. You understand? I am more than enough.
Yes.
Again, that rear view mirror, I have you looking back and back, and it's like
Yes.
it's like you're not going anywhere because you keep looking back in that mirror.
Absolutely.
You
Absolutely.
better turn that mirror around because listen, in the car, but you have a rear view mirror. Now in the old, but back in the day, and it could still be, they had this little click in the top at the bottom of this mirror where you can click it to one way and then another way, and you may see the cars go back further or they look like they're coming to you a little closer, right?
Oh,
Yeah, have you ever seen that rear view mirror when
oh,
you can
that.
do that? Well, you need to adjust your rear view mirror is what I'm trying to tell you. So
Yeah.
you need to stop looking back further and start looking at yourself a little bit closer up so that you will know that you are more than enough, that you are resilient, and that you can do whatever you set your mind to do. But the only thing you have to do is change the way that you think about yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Wow. I hope y'all are getting some good gems because listen, I really believe that this book is going to have a worksheet attached to it because I think that we're going to need some worksheets attached so that we can read the book and do some assessment and
Mhm.
kind of work it out as we're reading this book. I'm just saying there's going to be another part. There's going to be a special edition book, and in that special edition there's going to be some activities that you got to do. I'm just
Well,
saying.
girl, I'm telling you, you better speak those things and be not as though they were. Listen, you mentioned men. You said, well, some men need some encouragement, and you're absolutely right. Let
Yes.
me tell you one thing about the man with this particular book. Now, this book was written basically the men until adulthood, right? But as you read this book, men can read this book. When they do it, it give them a better understanding of the women that they love. Their mothers, their
Hmm.
sisters, their girlfriends, their significant others, their wives. It'll give them more truth into
Yes.
who they are and what they have and what they've been trying to figure out. Why is she so angry all the time? I had this one girl say, I didn't realize I was angry all the time and I didn't know why I was angry. This is the truth now. This is some of these test people that when I was just allowing them to, I was reading to them and they was revealing these things to me. This one friend of mine, she says, I didn't realize why I was so angry all the time.
Right.
And after I read the book to her and she listened to some of the things that I said and things just started coming back to her. Now that rearview mirror is it's not a bad thing because sometimes you have to go look back at yourself to
You
see where
do.
you go, where you've been, so you can
Absolutely.
understand where you're going. Okay.
Yes.
So when I
Yes.
say that, just take it in stride and realize that it's not always bad
It's
to
not.
look back. But you ain't trying to stay back there. I'm
That's
just
right.
don't if you gotta look back for a few seconds, look and just keep it going. Don't go back there and stay. Get up
That's
out of
correct.
there. But she says, I was angry all the time and I didn't understand why.
Why?
And then she realized I was molested by somebody in my family.
Woo!
And she didn't realize why. And she said, I was trying to tell my mother, but she wasn't listening because we
Okay.
were taught to keep those personal things at home. You don't want to tell everybody your
Yes.
business. And
Be
African Americans
secretive.
back in the day, we weren't looking at no therapy, so we just had to suck stuff up and just handle it. But we don't have to.
Absolutely.
I'm trying to let you all know right now, we don't have to handle everything. Everything is not all good.
That's
Sometimes we
right.
got issues that we need to deal with.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with her, she realized that something had happened, and this book, just the passages that I read for her, brought that out in her mind. It was in the back of her mind, and she couldn't figure out what it was. But now that she knows, she can deal with it. You follow me? Now that she
Yes.
knows that she can deal with it. So that's what this all about. This book just is not necessarily about me. It's about
Yeah.
you and the other people that are listening and some other people that they know and some other people that they know that they know.
That's
Because
right.
somewhere along the line, somebody has got some issues that they have not been able to deal with. But I'm
Deal
here to
with.
let you know that you're not broken, that you can handle these things if you address these things. You just have to
Absolutely.
recognize what is happening so you can keep it moving. Deal with it and keep it moving.
Absolutely. And I think that I want to piggyback off of that. One of the common things that we tend to do is kind of be private and keep things held hostage in our
Hmm.
systems, not realizing that you think that you're being secretive or private, but you're
Hmm.
really holding on to trauma and
That's right.
hurt and
That's
not
right.
really releasing. Now I get it that it's not everyone that we can talk to or share things with,
Hmm.
but you got to, you got to find a safe space. Hence why the importance of having a relationship with God is
That's right.
necessary, so you can ask God to show you who to connect with, who to open up to, so that you can release some of the baggage. I know that there's been points in my life that I've held on to unforgiveness. Don't really struggle with it too much, but there's just something that I carry because I'm a venter. If I'm upset,
Hmm.
I'm talk about it so I can get it out. But there's some things that you thought you released or you let go, but in having a conversation, it made you
Hmm.
realize, oh. But if you never had that conversation, or you felt like, oh, I don't want to tell nobody because we're gonna judge you,
Hmm.
we got to understand that a lot of us, when we start sharing our stories, you'll realize, oh, you went through the same thing.
That's
Oh my
right.
God, did we live in the
That's
same
right.
house? Because
You're
mama
right.
used to tell me the same thing, or I
Yeah.
went through the same thing. It's we've all shared similar stories.
That's right. And that's what I'm saying. This book is not just about me, it's for you and about somebody else. We all have a story to tell. Like I was just explaining about the young lady, and she realized that this had happened to her and she couldn't understand why she was angry all the time. So now she revealed that to her husband because now he realized this is
Yes.
why. So they were able to come together and have a breakthrough together because she had a
Mm,
breakthrough. Now their marriage has a breakthrough.
that's good. That's so good.
So that's
That's
why I
really
said
good.
it gives the men a better understanding of the women that they love.
Mm.
Mm.
You know what? You described that this is not just a book, but I really believe that it's a global movement. Like, this is going to be a global movement. I really just pray that you take this from city to city, like globally, because I believe that the story, and it's funny that we're talking about pearls because I don't
Mhm.
remember what I was watching on TikTok, and I saw this gentleman pulling the pearls,
Mhm.
and it looked initially dirty, but
Mhm.
even during the process of the dirt and the messiness, there was
Mhm.
something beautiful being
Something
produced
beautiful.
from that mess. And I thought to myself, I was like,
Right.
I've never seen a
That's right.
pearl, like how a pearl, like where it came from or the process. And I thought, oh wow, while it came from dirt, it's still a beautiful representation of something so rare and so beautiful. So
That's right. That's what I am. That's what you are. No matter where we've come from, that
absolutely.
muck, that dirt, all of that. And I call the dirt, the
Absolutely.
trauma that we faced. All of those things. People used to talk
Mm,
about you like a dog, people be jealous of you, all kind of just crazy things, the
yes.
broken hearts, and all of that, all of that, all of that. the resilient person, and you were able to come out. And now you look back with that broken heart, you're like, what the heck was I thinking about back then? Oh my God.
Right?
You're resilient. You've grown from it. So it teaches you how to grow. You grow from these things.
Yes.
And you flourish like a flower. The beauty of the pearl is radiant. It's
Yes.
iridescent. It glows. It's
Yes.
it's absolutely fabulous. That's who we are. We
Yes.
are resilient. We're hard as nails,
Absolutely.
but we're beautiful on the inside and on the out.
Oh man. Now, as a transformational speaker and a spiritual leader, how do these different roles intersect with your mission, healing, and empowerment?
Well, first and foremost, I am a preacher of the gospel. I can't
Come
get
on.
around that. I can't get around that, and I'm not even going to try because I know that is my call. And
That
so, and in my speaking, I'm going to always talk about my faith. I'm going to
yes.
always talk about how good God has been to me. I'm here in Indianapolis right now for my 50th high school class reunion we had this weekend.
Oh wow. That's beautiful. That's amazing. Yes. Absolutely. Wow. Yes.
Through that situation right now to a stage of healing. So that's what all of this means. It's where I've been. I've been on a journey, and I'm walking, and I'm walking, and I'm walking. And as I walk, I talk. Yesterday, I preached at a church, and the title of my message was "There's no place like hope."
You
There's
can't
no place like hope. So I can't help it. So on my journey,
cat. They're
well,
saying they can't hear you.
they can't hear me.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. I'm so
Precious, let
sorry.
me know. Can you hear her now? My guest speaker for next week, she's on. Let me know if you guys can hear her. I was just told that you guys we can okay, we can hear okay,
We can hear
perfect.
Blue Eagles travel. Can hear. Hi, Edna. um, yeah. So if she can hear me now, that all of
yes.
those things is, I preached a message,
Mm,
and and it kind of it goes with not just the theme of the book, but it goes with our everyday life. There's
yes.
no place. We put our trust and hope in things that has no substance, has no power, that can't do
Hmm.
anything for you. It won't do anything with you. If we put our hope in if we put our trust and our hope in hope, right hope, but the man hope, all hope is able to teach us, is able to teach.
Yeah, I see that she's going. Yeah, you're going in and out now. It is because she's traveling, and I'm sure it's the Wi-Fi at
Okay.
the hotel is kind of
Okay.
causing a little bit of a disruption to our connection.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Oh, but you just have to have me back, and when I get back in
we're
Atlanta,
gonna
so you can hear me.
we're gonna have to do a
Hey, it's
part
all
two. That's
good.
what that means, right?
Yeah, we get part two, right?
I love it. I love it. So what's one thing you hope every woman will take away from Girls with Pearls Have Power?
Want them to take away is that they are more than enough.
Amen.
They are more than enough. I'm gonna say it for the people in the back. You are more than enough.
You are more than enough. So, how can viewers stay connected with you, support the movement, bring maybe you to one of their events, their churches? How can people get connected with you and have you bring this book? I believe that you should be everywhere. Everywhere
Thank
with
you.
this book.
Well, you can go to my website. It's I am catperkins.com. IamKatPerkins.com. I am catperkins.com. And you can always email me at info at IamKatPerkins.com, and I will respond to you because that comes directly to me. And I would prefer that so I can have a direct connection to you. So that's info, INFO, at IAMKAT Perkins.
And I'm going to make sure I put that information in when we end our lives. I cannot thank you enough, Miss Perkins, for chatting with me. And despite the little bit of disruption to the internet connection, I think that this conversation was absolutely wonderful and phenomenal. I believe that we got to do something with the book because now that I'm hearing more about it, I love the movement. I love what it stands for. I think that we all have a story. For those that don't know, I'm the editor in chief of the magazine, The Journey to I Do. And I believe that we're all on a journey. And that is part of our journey, the healing, the growth, the development, the building. So, dear future husband and wife, The Journey to I Do, the magazine is part of the extension of the brand. And I want people to understand that it's not just to marriage. While there's a bride on the cover, it's really not just for marriage, it's really for the journey, the commitment, the healing, the different things that we embark on as we go through life. And I believe that this book within itself is also going to be beneficial and helpful to the woman who's in a season of growth and development. I want you guys to connect with me. I love having conversations. So if you're looking to connect with me, feel free to do so at Dear Future Husband and Wife on Instagram. Next week, we are being joined by Precious, and Precious are going to be chatting with us about connecting kingdom level. So I want you
Mhm.
guys to make sure that you come back. She is a kingdom matchmaker. So listen,
Okay, all right. I
single
like
women
that.
out here.
I like
Um,
that.
I want y'all to connect with Precious because y'all make sure you stay tuned for next week at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Precious and I are going to be chopping it up and we're going to be talking about, just dating and kingdom dating. She has her
Mhm.
own matchmaking service in Atlanta and she just trying to get the singles and God, where's my tracking number off the market. So so she's going to be with me next week. So I want you guys to subscribe. I want you guys to stay tuned. And I just want you guys to get connected. And if you have a story that you would love to share and you would love to be a part of Entrepreneur Mondays, be sure to connect with me at Dear Future Husband and Wife. And we can talk about having you on the show. So, Ms. Perkins, any final words for our viewers?
Well, the final words of number one, thank you all so much for tuning in and listening to me. And I pray that I something that spark your spirit and that will allow you to realize within yourself that you are more than enough and that you are a resilient pearl. So just don't forget to go to I am Cat Perkins and get on the waiting list for the book, which will be out in June. It's for me. Just remember, it's for you too.
All right. With that being said, we're signing off, y'all. See y'all next week. Actually, tomorrow, join us here at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time for the Purpose Power Prayer Call. Three P's. Purpose Power Prayer Call. I don't know, Miss Cat Perkins, she might want to show up and pray us in. But we're going to talk about that. But with that being said,
All
y'all
right.
have a great night, y'all. Bye bye.
Thank you so much for having me, Miss Johnson.
No problem, honey.